one of the bigger wins in JCSU football history, definitely most recent history. With with well, we have won a championship in 1969, and we've had some other bright spots. But one of the highest ranked teams to ever visit our campus, and a team with the just the cachet, the history that Valdosta State has, and that's a team that's regularly in the playoffs. To get that win, just big for us. It's going to help us with our confidence this year, but it should help us with recruiting and everything else that goes along with it. We felt good. We felt good. We knew that we started slow. We knew that we were helping them, and the way that we were helping them, we had 6 defensive penalties that led to them having first down. So we're giving them yardage offensively. We quarterback Kelvin Durham started slow, missed what was possibly a touchdown, a 70-yard touchdown. We missed some blocking combinations. Their defense outstanding. Got an outstanding defensive coordinator. They did some things that caused us some confusion in blocking assignments. So hats off to them. But we just kept our poise, and we really felt like we had taken their best shot. And what they did was really took advantage of us not executing, and we really felt like our conditioning was going to pay off for us, and also our depth. We have quality depth. Not that they don't. They have quality depth. If you look at their roster, you'll see that they brought in 30 to 40 guys from FBS programs, and just so happy with our young men to fight. This was a win that unlike some that we've had in the past. We've had 2 years ago going to Elizabeth City. That was a game where we were down 2 scores late and came back to win. But it's different when you're down 2 scores to a team that's got national championships to their credit, and just a team that's a year in, year out. They're going to challenge for the national championship. So this was a different one for us, but just so pleased with us in our maturity that we did not panic, and we just stuck to what we believed in. Since the schedule came out, I want to say in the spring, we had this game circled as a game that some would call a trap game. We're going to be coming off of a game against Morehouse that was in Boston, where a lot of hoopla surrounding that game in the first Essence Classic on national television. And then you come home for the Eddie McGirt Classic, your home opener. And also, some great things said about one of the John C. Smith legends and Pettis Norman, just so many things around the game. Then add to it Valdosta State. And so to get those 2 big games, and now you have to go to Elizabeth City. And again, our football's meant to be played on grass, but it's our only game on grass. And so that's going to be a challenge for us also. So there's so many things that go into it. In Elizabeth City, you look at them, they lost their first game against Chowan, and then they lost last week against Hampton, but it's a game that they were leading at halftime 20-10 and ended up losing 27-20. So they're going to have plenty of confidence, and it's their home opener. So we know we're going into a hostile environment, and we're going to have our A game, but we cannot have a letdown. And so we're really going to lean on our maturity and our experience as a ball club to not have a letdown and let this just let it be one of our better games that we've played. And that's really what it is. It's the next man up mentality, and also just the philosophy in our program is that you compete every single day. With freshmen, we don't talk to our freshmen about redshirting. You come in and you compete, and you could be competing against 5th-year seniors. Now with COVID and all this grad stuff, could be 6-year seniors. You just come in and you compete with the right attitude, and that's what's been happening. We just played a game and beat a number 11 team in the country without an All-American receiver in Brevin Caldwell. And not just an All-American receiver, he's a pro prospect. On Friday, Atlanta Falcons were here to see him, and today the New Orleans Saints are here to see him. So we're playing without him. All CIAA defensive end Lamone Hill is not playing. Crouch was gone for most of the game. But then you look at receiver, we have some freshmen playing, redshirt freshmen. Reggie Daniel, number 0. Brian Lane, number 5. We have a center that is playing as much time as a starter. Marcus Andrews out of Stevenson High School in Atlanta. We're playing a little bit of everyone, and it's because of our preparation and just credit to all of our staff and how we teach and develop. That's what I think that our staff is one of the things that we do well, is that we teach, we develop, and we motivate, and we create opportunities, fair opportunities. And so young men are taking advantage of the opportunities that they're being given. We don't have to look very far than last year when we were 8-0 and had all the hype, and then things didn't turn out well. That's what we're leaning on, is experience. We've been through a lot of hype, and as you can see, apparently we didn't handle it well. But you know what? That's what we do in our program. We say you don't lose, you learn. Also, you can learn when you win also. We won the game against Valdosta State, but we learned so much about ourselves and about our program and how we go about our business. What we're going to do our best at. I was very pleased to see how we would rebound and practice with our first day back at it. One of our best days that we had. It was going to tell us a whole lot if we were coming with Valdosta State hangover. There was no signs of Valdosta State hangover in practice on Tuesday morning. Our young men, we've moved on. One of our better practices, a great attention to detail, and we just have to keep that up the rest of the week and into game day on Saturday. But we are going to handle the things that we didn't do well last year. We're going to handle them better this year. And what we told our team was, if you want to be ranked in the top 25, beat Valdosta State. We did it. We're ranked in the top 25. Playing against Valdosta State, to get a win any kind of way is major. But to have the ball, you're up 28-16, and you have the ball inside the 5-yard line, and we had coaches, players, wanting to punch it in again, but we just felt like the message had been sent about who the better team was on this particular day, and that you don't have to get that last one to really let it be set in stone who won the ball game. It feels good for us to be in a position like that. We'll go to the first game of the season against Morehouse. Yes, we could have put up a lot of points, left the starters in, but we feel everyone around the program works hard, and we want them to have an opportunity to play. The game on Saturday, yes, it was really, we got it rolling. Our philosophy is get stronger as the game goes on, and also it's a boxing philosophy. You heard Floyd Mayweather talk about it, and people that have come from his camp. We want to take you out to the deep, which means take you to the later rounds, take you out to the deep, and let's see how you can swim. Can you survive out in the deep late? And that's what happened in this ball game. We took them out to the deep. We had basically 40 minutes of possession. And if you look at the game, the way it started, they controlled the ball in the first quarter, part of the second. But when the game ended, they had under 60 plays. We're close to what our goal is. We're close to 80 plays. And we dominated the time of possession. When we dominate the time of possession, that means our defense plays less plays and they're fresher. And one thing that teams don't want to see is a fresh Golden Bulls defense. And that's what happened on Saturday. How we warm up, and then also it's a tribute to our strength and conditioning program. We come down early and we warm up. We start a warm up. If you look at a lot of FBS programs, they'll come out and they'll do sort of a dynamic warm up, but there's also bands included. There's medicine balls included. So we bring each group out to get that part of it, and that's really a more centralized individual type of thing to really get you loose. Then we go back up, and then we'll come back down with the gear on, but it's not as long a period of time. And as you saw, we were fresh throughout the game. Our opponent was cramping. You saw several of their players cramping. You didn't see anybody from us cramping. So it's a tribute to what we do in the off season and the summer, and then in training camp, and then throughout the season. But we lift with intentionality, and we practice with it. You come watch us practice. Very rarely do you see us run sprints after practice. We believe that the way that we practice, that's our conditioning. Everything's high tempo, and that's what we take to the ball game. And I think Saturday was just evidence of it. They were a humongous football team, biggest offensive line I believe I've seen in Division II, and they were big. But our young men We send a lot of, we come at you in waves. Our defensive line was going in waves. And a name that comes to mind is Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams, new to us, a transfer, but Quentin Williams from Charlotte, North Carolina, went to Mallard Creek High School, started off at the University of Miami. And you could see why. He had some big plays, but the conditioning of not just him, our defensive linemen, our offensive linemen, they wanted more. They wanted more, and it was hot. It's the hottest day, I want to say, probably that we've had all training camp. And our training camp was not one of those just drudgery where you're dealing with the heat, you're dealing with everything. We had about 8 to 10 straight days of rain in training camp. Really only had like 2 to 3 days of sun, but it wasn't like it was on Saturday. But I'm just very pleased again. I got to point to the maturity of our team. We don't talk about weather because championships are going to be won when it's cold. You have to win when it's hot, and you're going to deal with rain. So something that we don't talk about in our program is weather. You have to deal with it. And if you're going to use weather as an excuse, you're not going to be a champion.